Good morning, everyone. Namaste. I'm going to call in Archangel Michael to cleanse this space, to clear out all negative and lower vibrations from our mind, body, and soul, home, and hearts, placed in the white light of protection around us with this blue seal. And today, guys, we're going to be reading more out of my Ascension Handbook, channeled by material by Serapis, Bay, and then Tony Stubbs. We still are currently update to the preface. It says, this book tells us where we're going individually and collectively, but it is not mentioned in the original question of who is going to take our culture there. Namely the younger generation. In the last 2 decades, we have heard about how these 20s and below, the indigo, and more recently the crystal children, and I think this book was written a while ago. This was the 1990s 1 through 96, so that would make sense, because I am myself am an indigo child. And more recently the crystal children, and now I think we have the rainbow children, I believe, are a new breed of humans and more in touch with their soul identity. And the children that are being born nowadays, and the rainbow children, they are born to where they don't need any of the upgrades and advancements. They are born with 100% of all their intuition. That's why you have a lot of children now teaching us things. And I would listen if they're teaching you things. All of them are probably teaching us stuff. It states, as they are having a hard time in touch with their soul identity, they are having a hard time living within the world that they are currently inheriting. But for Ascension to work, the old must change and support the kids and not the other way around. Exactly. Same thing if your child also has neurodivergent, ADHD, or autism in any way. They're meant to lead the way, and we shall follow them, not having them conform into our reality. Our reality is flawed. It's a 3D reality, and they're of a higher reality. So just keep that in mind. But for the Ascension to work, the old must change to support the kids and not the other way around. What must not happen is the old world dig its heels in and try and force the kids to adapt to it instead, or dope them up. And I'm not going to say with what type of drugs that you might dope them up with. That would give us more of the same rather than Ascension, and the kids drive the crazy along the way. Until the indigo children are actually running the schools and other intuitions, which they are currently right now. Not all of them, because we have a lot of still elderly people, and that's not to say that they're not doing a good job. It just isn't, they're not of that higher vibrational frequency that to bring that harmonious balance into the world. It states, running the schools, they still have any of those few decades times we must begin to collectively adjust those intuitions to support the new children. If you are a parent, teacher, or in addition to your own personal ascension process, that transition task will fall to you. So ask the kids, what changes do you need to see in the world for it to work for you to live in it? As an adult, we must listen to them and learn from these children, because they see the world and life differently and may be able to teach us as adults a thing or two about Ascension. This is true for the indigo children, doubly so for the crystals who are born practically ascended. And the crystal children are in their 20s, and you see them a lot on this app. I'm not sure if they're all awoke to the fact that that's what they are, but they're all generally doing a lot of spiritual work, a lot of tarot, a lot of channel message, a lot of Reiki healers on this app. And I try and support them as much as I can, and you should too, because this is what they're supposed to do with their life. They're not meant to be doing other things. So it says so I'll leave it at that, but I just love learning about this, and it's just so cool to see it all actually coming into fruition. My mom was born in, she was the first waivers, and she woke up in the 90s. Her and her sister both woke up in the 90s, and it was a very difficult time because they had all this information, but nobody believed them, and it was a very cookie cutter time. So a lot of them got institutionalized because they thought they were crazy, and they didn't have the internet to get in group settings. My mom did go to some cool new age churches and stuff like that, but they didn't have the support that we have here and nowadays. So those were the changes that were made. So I love you all. I hope this helps. Have a blessed day, and namaste.